Hey guys, what's up? Welcome to my YouTube. And yeah, I look a little ratchet because today I had a whole day off and I'm wearing my PJs out in public, so yeah, I'm so cool. So subscribe to my channel. This is a channel about just story times and beauty and rants and red hair and red pants. So subscribe, thank you. This is a story time about a fuckboy because I had to do one, obviously, because everybody in the world has had a fuckboy in their life. Somehow, some way, some reason, they just had it. So I just want to tell you my story time. I'm chomping on this gum. Should I litter? No. I'm just gonna put it right here for later. Anyways, so this is back. Everything's back in the day because your girl is taken now. So I can't really, have fuckboys now because I don't want to. So I just want to say that, okay? Talking about fuckboys. Where's mine? I'm just kidding. No, I'm waiting for him. But anyway, he's not a fuckboy. The point is, back in the day, I was popular on social media, on Facebook. I was blasting myself because I was so cool and I wanted to take selfies like nobody's business, and they just got likes. So that's what happened. And I would get a ton of messages from just random people, like just random guys, random girls, just random. And I would never go through them unless I knew who they were and I wanted to speak to them. And it's so tough for me. So tough. So hard for me to speak to somebody because I, one, don't trust them, two, I don't want to, and three, it's like if I'm talking to you, I'm so interested, like to know you, to be with you, or to like just interact with you, because I don't know, I'm just like that. So it was one of those times where somebody caught my eye and I decided to click on their name, and I was like, all right, I don't know this person, but I'm just gonna click on him because he's so freaking cute. I'm telling you, he was so cute. So I was like, I'm just gonna click on his name, let's see what's up. So I clicked on him and he had already messaged me like 20 times, and he was like, hey, you're beautiful, hit me up, you're fuckboy type of messages. But I decided to message back and I was like, hey, what's up? And he was like, hey girl, what to do, blah, blah, blah. So we talked and I ended up liking his way of talking to me, and he was so persuasive and he was so nice and sweet and cute, and I was just like just so happy because he was so cute and perfect. I want to describe him to you guys. He was tall, he still is, he was like light skinned, he was like tattoos everywhere, bright white smile, green eyes. I was like, boy, you is so cute. So I decided to talk to him more. We ended up talking for about a month, and then I finally decided to meet him. I was like, all right, you can take your girl out. So he was like, all right, I'm gonna pick you up or whatever. And I was like, no, we're gonna meet up at my friend's house, because at the time it was summer and I was spending my whole time at her house. I don't remember why. I think it's because she had a pool, but she was my best friend at the time, and she had a big house, and we were just like hanging out, and I loved it there. It was just awesome, right? So you always have one of those friends where they just have everything, so you just take everything. So I would always hang out with her, and she would hang out with her boo, and I invited him over, and that's when it started. We started like seeing each other because we would hang out every day. I'm talking about every day except like if something came up, but usually nothing ever came up. So we would hang out all the time, me, him, and my friend and her boo, and at her house, in the pool, or wherever, in her house, outside, or whatever the fuck. We were always hanging out like the whole summer, I remember. And I was like, okay, this is getting kind of, serious. He might, be for real. He might be like my next boyfriend or whatever. And so that's what I thought. And he was so sweet. He was never one of those people that you thought he was like gonna do you wrong. Like, you just didn't think that. Like, I don't ever think that about a person, like, seriously. But you get fuckboy or like flags, like red flags, like right off the bat, if you know they're for your pussy or they're there for your, like, for life type shit. So I was like, you know what, I'm just gonna give him a chance. Nothing was going wrong. Like, everything was perfect. We were hanging out, yada yada yada. 2 months go by and summer's almost fucking over, and we're sad, and me and my friend, we were sad because we weren't gonna be with each other. I had to go back to my house. And so I was like, all right, so you could start hanging out with me at my house. So I remember we went to Yogurtland or something like that, and I got a big old like thing of yogurt, and he's like, are you gonna finish that? I was like, yeah, I'm a badass, I'm gonna finish that. Like, I was trying to show off for some reason. Like, why would you try to show off that you're a fat ass? Like, what the fuck? So anyways, I was just like, yeah, I'm gonna finish this. And he was like, all right, blah blah blah. He was laughing at me, and I remember we were laughing like the whole night. We were talking, and I'm saying the whole night, like Yogurtland was open all night, but it wasn't. It was like till 11. So that was all night, and we were talking, and I remember I was taking a selfie, and I took a picture of the yogurt, and then he was like, take a picture of me with you. And I was like, okay, because we don't really have pictures together. So he's like, post it. And I was like, all right. So he told me, tag me and whatever. So I was like, I wasn't really about to tag him because I didn't really give a shit. I was like, whatever, like, I don't care. But he asked me to, so I was like, all right. So I looked up his name to tag him, and I'm like, why didn't you're not popping up? And he was like, oh, what the hell, blah blah blah, let me check my Facebook or whatever. And when you block somebody, I don't know if you know this, but I blocked so many people in my life. So on Facebook, when I would block somebody, you still had if you had messages with them, you would still have the messages. You just wouldn't have their icon, like their little picture. It wouldn't show up. It would just be like the Facebook profile thingy. And so I went to our old messages, and he had blocked me because like I didn't see his icon. I could see his messages, but I couldn't see his icon. I was like, why'd you block me? He's like, no, that was probably by accident. I was like, how you would block somebody by accident? Like, I do it all the time, and it takes some time. He's like, no, it was probably an accident. Just chill out, blah blah blah. And I'm like, all right, whatever. I don't care. I did care, but I didn't show it. So I was like, all right, whatever, boo, it's okay. So the night ends, and the next day, I remember it was going to be, I think, a Friday or a Saturday. I don't remember which one, but it was one of them. And we would always hang out from 6 or like 4-ish, like 4 in the afternoon to like 11 every day, like every day. So I was deciding if I was going to invite him to meet my parents in the morning, because during the weekend they were there and stuff, and I don't really like to bring people around my parents because they have a disability, and I don't like people making fun of me, because I had that when I was younger, and people would think, oh, your parents are like that, so you're like that. I just hated it. So I don't have people around my parents because people can be assholes. So the people I would bring around was because I fucking loved them, or like I really cared for them. So I was actually like, I wasn't in love with him, but I felt like we were going somewhere. So I only brought, let me just say this, like in my entire life, I've only brought 2 boyfriends to my family, like my mom and my dad and my grandma and all that. And those 2 people like meant a lot to me. So for me to bring him over, it meant that I really cared. So I called him and I was like, hey, you want to come over for breakfast? My grandma was making chorizo or whatever. And he was like, yeah, I'm coming over right now. So he shows up and he's like putting his phone on like silent, and he's like, I'm just going to turn it off. I don't want nobody to interrupt. I'm like, in my head, I'm like, who's going to fucking interrupt? Like every time we hang out, his phone would never like ring. So I was like, who would interrupt? But anyways, I just let it slide. I was like, whatever, do your thing. So we hung out. He met my grandma. My grandma fell in love with him. He fell in love with him. That was the first time I brought a Mexican boy to my house, because from the past I dated like people that didn't know Spanish or like weren't Mexican and shit. So those 2 boys, just 2 people, didn't know Spanish. So it was new, and he liked it. She liked it. I felt like I finally liked somebody of my race. Usually I don't, which is, it's nothing wrong. You just don't judge me. I don't know. I just like to, I don't know, whatever. So the point is, I liked him, and he came to my life, and I was like, cool, this is awesome. I'm probably gonna be with him forever. Like, I'm fucking stupid. Anyways, so he finally tells me we were going outside to his car. He had this Mustang, I remember, and I was like, how do you afford that if you're like 17, you know? But I didn't think anything of it. So I was just like, because he told me he was 17, by the way. So we're going outside, and he kisses me, and he's like, he looks in my eyes, and he starts tearing up, and I was like, what the fuck, what's wrong with you? He's like, I don't know, I really love you, and it sucks because, and I was like, because what? And he didn't like finish his sentence. He was just like, oh, because, and like, I was like, what? And he's like, oh, I don't know, I can't believe I love you, like, I love you. And I was like, all right. And so I didn't say it back because I didn't feel it, but I had love for him, like, you know what I mean? So I was just like, yeah, love you too, like, kind of like, not really saying it, but saying it. But he was like, all right, I'll talk to you tomorrow. So I was like, all right, bye. He left, and so the next day, he's like, we'll hang out at night like we usually do. I don't remember why. I think I wanted him to go somewhere with me in the morning, and he's like, no, we'll hang out at night, blah blah blah. And I was just like, okay. And so he had called me for some reason, and I wasn't picking up, and then I called him back, and he wasn't picking up, and I called him back again, and he finally picked up, and it was a girl. And she's like, who's this? And I'm like, this is me. I'm looking for fuckboy. And she's like, this is fuckboy's wife. Who's this? And I was like, that moment, like, I literally think I shit my pants. Like, I was like, what the fuck kind of shit is this? Like, only me, Crystal, would get with a married guy. Like, who? Just me. So I was like, are you fucking kidding me right now? So I texted him on Facebook, and I was like, you're married? I just remember putting in caps, and I was like, what the fuck? And so then I went to his profile picture, and there was no signs of her, like, anywhere. And in the pictures, I see a picture with him and a little girl. He had like 5 of them, and I was like, who the hell is this little girl? So I go to his wall to see if anybody's written on his wall or anything, and so I see that there was like 5 months ago, some girl wrote a heart on there. So I click on her, and she had the same pictures with the same girl, and I was like, who the fuck is this little girl? And I was just like, you're dating, or you're married, and let me find out you have a kid. And he was like, let me call you. So he calls me, and he's like, I need to see you, blah, blah, blah. We can't do this over the phone. I was like, don't even bother, because dude, I'm done. Like, just, you're such a liar. You're sick. How can you cheat, like, on somebody you're married to, or like play somebody, like, how, and you have a kid? Like, what is wrong with you? So he's like, no, let me explain. Like, we're gonna get a divorce, and I wasn't trying to be with her, but it's kind of hard. Like, we have a baby, like you said, blah, blah, blah. I was just like, just forget it. So we like stopped talking, and he kept coming to my house trying to get with me, trying to talk to my parents. And I was just like, dude, like, leave me alone. Like, he kept calling and like knocking on my door, and it was just so fucking annoying. Sorry, I had to burp. And so I finally was just like, all right, dude, I'll give you a second chance, because I don't know, I'm fucking stupid. Like, I don't know why I gave him a second chance, but I did. And he was like, he sweared up and down. He was like, I'm done with that bitch. Like, I ain't talking to her or whatever. So I was just like, all right, cool. So we went to somewhere to like gather my party stuff, because that week was my party at my house. My parents were going to go out of town, and I was going to secretly do a party at my house for my birthday. And I actually threw that party. That's another story time. That was such a good time, but it was actually like horrible at the end. Like, there was cops, there was people jumping on the fence and shit. Okay, I'll tell you some other time. Like, it was just crazy. So anyway, he like bought all my stuff. He like bought a bunch of shit for my birthday and stuff. And so he's just like, all right, don't invite any guys. I'm like, bitch, the fuck? I'm inviting everybody in the fucking Katy region. Like, I'm inviting everybody, which is stupid, because then at the time I was so, oh dang girl, at the time a lot of people knew me on Facebook, so why would I put my address out there? But I did. I'm just telling you, I'm stupid. Like, I'm telling you, like, I'm stupid. I do not have common sense whatsoever. So I threw my party, and he was there, and the girl shows up to my party. She shows up to my party. She shows up and she's with the kid and she's just like, I don't know who the fuck you are, but I'm here to pick up my husband. And I don't know why he's here. And I just remember he like looked at me, like his face was like ghost mode. Like he was like shocked. He didn't know what to say to me. And I just looked at him and I don't even remember showing any emotion. I just remember like smiling, like not even like crazy smiling. I just remember like smiling at him. And I was just like, just leave my house. I didn't say that, but I was just like, just go. And so he walks out, puts her in the car, runs back in and tries to still talk to me and explains everything, like tries to explain that she's crazy. And I was just like, my homeboy was with me and he was like, just get out, dude, before I beat you up. Like, dude, just get the fuck out. And so he's like, I fucking love you. Like, he was like screaming it. The girl was like listening. She was like right there in the car and he was screaming. He's like, I fucking love you, blah, blah. Like, how can you do this? Like, just give up on us. Like, she's crazy. And she's like, I'm fucking crazy, blah, blah. Like, just yelling. It was crazy. It was my birthday. And I was like, how are you going to ruin my birthday right now? So I told him to leave and I blocked him on social media. And I just remember that I didn't fuck with him for the longest. And to this day, he fucking, after like 2 years, he tried to fuck with my best friend. And I think they dated for a little bit. Then she found out that we dated. And then she found out that he had a kid and that he was lying and that he was married. So fuckboy stayed being a fuckboy. So that was my story time about the time I fucked a no wait, what? No, I didn't fuck him. I'm sorry. The time that I got fucked by a fuckboy, but not really technically fucked. You know what I mean? Like fucked over. So that was the story time. I hope you guys liked it. Subscribe, like, and I love you guys and bye.